Well, I mean, everybody's been pretty much nailing it on the head. Ricky said you got a bunch of snow up around the North Carolina, Virginia mountains, and I think a lot of that's going to continue going forward. I'm going to share a few graphics with you guys. If you follow me on my Facebook page, or the Carolina Weather Group, you've probably seen these graphics put together. But some of it's from NOAA. But we have our 2018 to 2019 seasonal outlook as far as climate and precipitation is concerned, and the official NOAA precipitation outlook is for above average precipitation in the southeast, with temperatures right around average, through at least February of 2019. To summarize, you hear a lot about El Nino, and El Nino is really important in how it affects the weather across the southeast. You get a more active southern branch of the jet stream, bringing Pacific moisture in with a lot more southern storms. So, with the El Nino watch being issued, they're saying that conditions are pretty neutral right now, but going into December through January, they're expecting El Nino conditions to develop. And what that means is basically you have warming of the equatorial Pacific waters in the central and eastern Pacific relative to normal. So you get warmer than average sea surface temps across the central and eastern Pacific, and that really it helps to influence the southern track. And here's another graphic just kind of showing that. You hear the Pineapple Express, and that's kind of what that southern branch of the jet stream is. And what's really important is that, once we get into January, late December into January, you start getting these cold shots of air with the the polar jet stream. And if you can get these systems to phase together across the Gulf of Mexico, that's when you get our big snowstorms across the southeast. And with that, our earliest snowfall that we ever had in Columbia was November 1st, 2014. And our largest 24-hour snowfall was 15.7 inches. That occurred in the blizzard of 1973. Just a couple of little facts. And, our top 10 South Carolina snowfall totals by year, 18 inches in 1973. And our 10th was a modest 4.3 inches. So, any kind of significant snowstorm that we get across, South Carolina, if that were to happen, could be a top 10 type storm, which is, I think, going into, especially January into the middle of February, definitely possible.
And Chris, those Miller A's are generated from that subtropical jet to the south. So it'd be interesting to see how much moisture is pulling across from the Pacific into the Gulf of Mexico to generate some of those lows.
Absolutely. And, you get that Miller A type storm where you have one centralized area of low pressure that moves across the Gulf Coast and basically the Florida Panhandle over Jacksonville. Then, as it ramps up the East Coast toward the benchmark off the coast of Massachusetts, the storms bomb out. They become basically winter hurricanes. And that's where you get your prolific blizzards in Boston with 3 and 4 feet of snow sometimes. So I think really going January, really into March for the northeastern part of the country, it's going to be a really snowy, it probably going to be the best winter we've seen since 2010.
Bring it on is what I say.
Okay, you heard it. You heard it from Chris. He's calling it.
Hey, I'll put it out there. I said it.
I personally hope that comes true. So